Hi, this is Rajkumar. Today we are going to discuss about this particular topic, organometallic compounds in heterogeneous catalysis and bioorganometallic chemistry. Let us come to the first section about organometallic compounds in heterogeneous catalysis. The most popular heterogeneous catalyst is the Ziegler-Natta catalyst that is used in alkene polymerization reactions. It was discovered by German scientist Carl Ziegler in the year 1953 to 54. He utilized in catalyzing polymerization of ethylene. Later, Italian scientist Giulio Natta used this catalyst to synthesize stereoregular polypropylene. This catalyst shows immense industrial application in manufacturing plastic, elastomer, rubber, etc. So, both of them received Nobel Prize in Chemistry in the year 1963. Let us first give a little bit discussion about polyethylene. It is the most widely produced plastic. It is used in manufacturing bags, tubes, etc. It's used in different industries such as packaging, automobile, electrical, etc. It can be synthesized by polymerization of ethylene. And by controlling the microstructure properly, the properties can be tuned. Now, let us discuss about different type of polyethylene. Now, based on this table, it's clear that as the extent of branching increases, the density of the polyethylene actually decreases. The low density polyethylene, which contains significant amount of branch, that can be synthesized by conventional radical polymerization, whereas the high density polyethylene can be synthesized by Ziegler-Natta catalyst. And we can see, depending on the applications, these high density polyethylenes are used in making different type of very hard substrates, whereas these are used in manufacturing different soft substrate. Let us move to polypropylene. It's the second most widely produced plastic after polyethylene. It has quite similar properties like polyethylene, but it's slightly harder and more heat resistant. It has lower density. As a result, it's more lightweight and it's more electrically resistant. Now, polypropylene can have three different type of stereoisomers. The first one is called isotactic polypropylene, where all these methyl groups are directed towards the same direction. Whereas this one is called syn-diatactic, where these methyl groups are present alternatively, either above the plane and below the plane. And this one is called atactic, which is not having any kind of stereochemical regularity. Now, let us come to a Ziegler-Natta catalyst. It is nothing but a binary mixture of titanium chloride and organoaluminum compounds. Organoaluminum alkylates the titanium as well as it reduces, and later that whole mixture undergoes polymerization. It can be activated by adding methyl aluminoxane, which can be synthesized by hydrolyzing dimethyl aluminium. It does dual job. It first methylates the titanium pre-catalyst. Later, it extracts a ligand from the methylated pre-catalyst to create vacant coordination site. The mechanism can be described like this, though it's not completely understood because it's a heterogeneous catalyst. Now, this particular titanium that contains this kind of one vacant site. Now, ethylene coordinates in this vacant site. Then, it undergoes 1,2 bigate insertion of this alkyl group to create this kinds of a longer chain alkyl group as well as a new vacant site. Now, ethylene undergoes coordination in this new vacant site, and if this ethylene coordination and migrating insertion gets repeated, finally it forms this kind of a polymeric chain. And now we come to the polymer bound heterogeneous catalyst for the methyl carbonation. This polymer bound ruthenium carbonyl complex acts as a excellent heterogeneous catalyst for this type of a methyl carbonation reaction. Let us move to the next section about bioorganometallic chemistry. The most popular bioorganometallic compound is the vitamin B12 or cobalamins. Now, if you see carefully, here is the one cobalt carbon bond is present. Now, depending on this nature of R group, there are different type of cobalamins can be possible, like cyanocobalamin, hydroxycobalamin, methylcobalamin, and adenosylcobalamin. And here we are going to discuss the activities of these cobalamins. Let us come to the methylcobalamin. It catalyzes biological methylation reaction. For example, biosynthesis of methionine. It also plays an important role in arsenic and mercury poisoning. Let us come to the biosynthesis of methionine. Now, the biosynthesis of methionine involves transfer of methyl group from this methyl tetrahydrofolate to afford this methylcobalamin. Now, methylcobalamin transfers this methyl group to this homocysteine to produce methionine. And during this process, in this case, the cobalt oxidation state is +3, whereas the bare cobalamin cobalt oxidation state is +1. Now, mercury poisoning. Mercury intake can occur in three different forms: in the form of elemental mercury, inorganic mercury, and organic mercury. But whatever form we intake, finally it gets converted to organic mercury. And this particular step is actually catalyzed by vitamin B12 or methylcobalamin. Now, the elemental mercury is highly lipophilic and it can absorb by inhalation, but it has a poor gastrointestinal absorption. Whereas inorganic mercury is poorly lipophilic and it has a poor gastrointestinal absorption. So these two mercury are not that much hazardous. Whereas organic mercury, it is highly lipophilic, it can be rapidly absorbed through skin, lungs, kidney, etc. As well as it has a very fast gastrointestinal absorption. As a result, this particular thing is extremely hazardous. Now, let us come to the arsenic detoxification. So, that can be done like this way. In this case, whatever this methyl cobalamin, it methylates this trihydroxy arsenic 3 complex to form this particular complex, which upon further methylation reaction results this particular complex. Now, this particular complex reacts with this iodoacetate to form this particular compound. And now, this particular compound can be easily removed from our body through renal removal. Now, in this case, cobalt undergoes oxidation state change between 3 and 1, whereas arsenic undergoes oxidation from arsenic 3 to arsenic 5. Now, we move to the adenosyl cobalamin. It's involved in reduction of ribonucleotides as well as it catalyzes one-to shift of an hydrogen atom and a electronegative functional group. So let us come to a ribonucleotide reductase activity. This ribose sugar undergoes reduction to form this deoxyribose sugar. Now this is nothing but the backbone of RNA, wherever this particular thing is like the backbone of DNA. And in this particular case, it changes the oxidation state between cobalt 2 and cobalt 3. Now, isomerization reaction involves abstraction of this H radical to form this thing. Then it undergoes rearrangement to form this particular thing. Then it again undergoes H hydrogen radical abstraction from this particular complex to form this exactly the other isomer. In this case also, the cobalamin shatters the oxidation state between 3 and 2. Now, what is the importance of this particular reaction? So, let us see this citric acid cycle, and here two important species which I want to say: acetyl coenzyme A and succinyl coenzyme A. Now, Let us come to the fatty acid metabolism. Fatty acid can be metabolized like this way. First it undergoes dehydrogenation followed by hydration by attack of water. Then it undergoes oxidation of this particular group. Then it reacts with coenzyme A to give rise to this. Now this acetyl coenzyme A enters the Krebs cycle and gives rise to another new fatty acid coenzyme A, which goes back to this particular cycle, and this cycle repeats. Now if it contains the even number of carbon atom, then everything will get converted to acetyl coenzyme A. But if it contains odd number of carbon atom, then what is going to happen? Apart from all this acetyl coenzyme A, we will be left out with one propionyl coenzyme A. Now, how this propionyl coenzyme A will get metabolized? By this way, this particular propionyl coenzyme A undergoes addition of bicarbonate to form dimethyl malonyl coenzyme A, which racemizes to form L-methyl malonyl coenzyme A. Now, this L-methyl malonyl coenzyme A undergoes this carboxylate group shift from this particular carbon to this particular carbon to afford succinyl coenzyme A, which enters the Krebs cycle. And this particular reaction is catalyzed by adenosine cobalamin. Now, hydroxycobalamin. It plays an important role in removal of cyanide from our body. It reacts with cyanide to afford cyanocobalamin, which is renally excreted from our body by this particular reaction. Now, why cobalt is so essential in this particular case? Because we can see for all this activity we need all the three oxidation states, +1, +2 and +3. And only cobalt can give rise to all these three oxidation states. That's why cobalamin contains cobalt. Finally, thank you very much for your kind attention.